kills. Busio gets a big pop, Blossom and Misfortune's ulti tears everybody apart. VKS might have got their objective, but the fight belongs to FlyQuest. Triple kill, quadra kill to Masu. It's everybody else's job to just keep this.
Pentakill. We had many over the LTA Championship this weekend, and it started off with FlyQuest versus VKS, just as you saw there on that clip. But joined today with me on the Rift is Justin, Kepley, and Eli. Sorry, how y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Really
how are
good.
you?
Doing awesome. Yeah, this was some intense matches, and I can't wait to see how everything closes out.
Yeah. Well, as I said, we're going to jump right into that Fly versus VKS match, and it really wasn't close, though.
Not at all. I mean, cue the Nate Diaz meme. I'm not surprised. I'm just saying, like, I knew FlyQuest was going to lock in. Doesn't matter if Blippo's there or if it was Gakkos. Blippo was locked into that coach position. We got a little bit of the preview of that on, whatever that pro show is, the preview they do in the LTA. He was talking about how he was, like, helping his players improve, looking at these micro decisions. And Gakkos looked like a different beast than the first time we saw him.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Gakkos being in was going to make the difference. We didn't really have great showings from him in the regular season, so I thought that if anything could make the difference, it could be that, but VKS just didn't really seem to have the gumption to even compete with them in a weaker form than they have the best of.
I love that Gakkos got to play the Aurelia right out the gate. I mean, going to a champion we literally have not seen. I mean, it had a 0% pick rate, 0% ban rate. But he comes out. I also think that Inspired picking Ivern in this situation was so smart because he can just clear Infinite and then just gank and help Gakkos, help him get ahead. It's just well put together by FlyQuest.
Yeah. This game, though, started off kind of super slow. It was like 5 kills up until almost 31 minutes for FlyQuest. VKS, they seemed kind of scared going into it, which, I mean, I guess you can kind of assume. But I thought they would have taken a little more advantage against Gakkos, but I guess not, and FlyQuest took that single game without even dropping to death.
Yeah, Ivern has been a great pick for Inspired for so long. I mean, I've got a lot of memories of him looking super good on that in the LEC. It's not like the traditional hard carry champ that you expect from the best player in the league to play, but when he does it, it's just suffocating.
And I think it just shows the confidence that they had in Gakkos, right? Like, you take arguably the best player in all of LTA, like North and South, and you put him on something more passive, and you say, hey, here's an Aurelia, which is a weird pick for a first game, right? Just in general. And he just knew, I'm going to step up to the plate, I'm going to shine. Everyone's like, cool. Go
You also have to step up like that in that kind of a draft when you have an Ivern jungle and a Zir mid. You're playing for that AD melee top laner, and so if the Aurelia is not online, not making things happen in team fights, you're in a bad position.
Yeah, and I mean, going into game number 2, there wasn't really much of a difference. We did see VKS finally start to fight back. They finally start to see a little bit of kills there, but it was only short term that we kind of saw it out of it. Gakkos, though, really impressed me. The scoreline may not show as much, a lot of assists, but he was really aggressive, and I think that aggressive play on that Jax really allowed Inspire and then, Quad and Masu to really kind of pick up the layer game. So it's like one team fight a little bit later into the game where he just jumps in instantly, throws on the counter strike to make sure that he doesn't get hit, then instantly pops, I believe it was Lazonia's at the time, and then just allows his team to come in. Granted, they do die, a couple members die, but then they just, let the Orianna sweep up and clean up. It looked really good from a whole team perspective.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, like, you're watching this game unfold, and if you had it on and you had all the nameplates off, like, you don't even realize Blippo's not on the Rift, right? And that's just how dominant FlyQuest was from top to bottom. All of these players just completely dominating in their respective positions, and I can't like overemphasize. Gakkos was like, I know we're gonna get fantasy later, but that was the money pick. That was Moneyball.
Yeah, I mean, he was super low budget, right?
Yeah.
And then he outperforms by a landslide. But what really was funny to me about this series is like VKS, the way that they were so successful in the South was by being like tricky and like pretending like they're backing, but they're really lurking in your jungle and then catching a pick. So I was like, man, did FlyQuest do their research and like come up with how to anti-strategy that? But then they interviewed Inspired and he's like, yeah, I didn't really watch their games, but yeah, this is pretty easy. Like, didn't even have to study it. Their natural play style just countered VKS. I don't know. I was hoping to see more of a fight, but if they can't pull off that strategy that they were looking for, it's just not going to work.
I think that's just Inspired, man. I mean, he doesn't need to study his opposing junglers to gap them. I do think that probably the team as a whole was doing scouting, and they were mentioning some of these things in the prep to kind of get everybody prepared for it, but Inspired doesn't need that, man. He's just going to walk it up down the Rift and dominate.
Yeah, I mean, game 3 as well. We saw that Penta. I mean, that was kind of just the icing on the cake for it. As you said, the series was kind of, just lopsided, one-sided, and then that Pentakill just gave it a nice little flair to the end. But
I know you loved it because MF-ul.
gosh, that's misfortune.
This guy's a
I was so
misfortune
happy.
mate. Yeah.
It's the perfect setup for that misfortune also. I mean, I was going to talk about the Busio Pop Blossoms this game were insane. Even before the Pentakill, there was one at the Dragon Pit where he just gets in Flash Pop Blossom. Obviously, you're saying, oh, it's a Flash Pop Blossom. Doesn't matter. Yes, it does. He's just good at it. When you have someone that can, consistently do that, you're going to win the games.
Yeah, I have support main. I've been getting back on the Rift a lot with some of the boys in the office, and my Nico has a long way to go to match what he's doing here. And those Flash Pop Blossoms, he makes them look easy, but I promise you they're harder. Like that right there, the perfect 5-man into the misfortune ult. I mean, it's just poetry in motion. Yeah, this whole team, and I don't know. It was just so impressive to me. It blew my expectations away. I told everyone on this desk that LTA North versus South would be one-sided, and this was even more one-sided than I expected.
See, this is what I expect. This is what I want to see the top LTA North team doing to the top LTA South team.
Yep.
I mean, I hope that's not controversial or anything. I just think that for how good FlyQuest is, they should be dominating this team.
No,
Yeah,
I
if
agree.
you're looking at those Amazon rankings and you're putting FlyQuest number 6 in the world, like this is what we needed to see. If this was a close matchup, I'm losing so much faith going into Worlds, but I'm starting to feel good now. I'm like, FlyQuest is a top team.
Well, starting to feel good about Worlds. We did have one more team qualify. It would be 100 Thieves. They did beat Red, which I'm sure everyone's excited about. But this series was really memey to me. It started off kind of clean with that first game and then kind of devolved into almost a solo queue-esque like game 3. But, I mean, Quid, though, was absolutely amazing this whole entire series. And then River as well. Both of them just came out swinging. We have another Pentakill that we'll get to show in a little bit. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on this game?
I thought it was going to be closer, to be honest. I mean, Red put up, they looked really good against SR, obviously, knocking them out. But it also, I guess, played to their detriment because then 100T had time to study that gameplay and figure out how they wanted to counter it. Also, just, I don't know, FNB didn't show up the same way that I thought he would. Kaze wasn't really able to get much done in mid either. So,
Yeah, and I didn't see much action out of Rebello in the bot lane either, especially against FBI. And I'm always praising FBI here on the show. Is like this guy, he's on an unfortunate team, but he's one of the best AD carries in the league. And I think he really showed that there's levels to the game here. Red wasn't able to have that kind of chaotic early game and really like throw waves into their strategy. 100 Thieves just stuck to what they know, and they just out macroed them, out microed them in all levels. And I think that's what caused this series to be so electric and really what I expected out of Shopify. So like now I'm looking at what happened with 100 Thieves versus Red, and I'm like, man, it's disappointing Cloud9's not here, right?
Yeah.
Or even Liquid.
Sure.
Like I would even put Liquid there. Shopify did not show LTA's best in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we're just taking a look at some of this first game here footage, but like the second game is probably one of the big ones. Before the LTA broadcast, if you listen to what the casters were saying, these are two teams that like to scrap, and they had this meter that they were showing, and it was showing this kill meter comparative, all the regions together on the kills. This game was 53 kills in 36 minutes for game number 2. They absolutely just went wall to wall with it. Yeah, and they were just going at it.
Speaking Chinese.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even surpassing the LPL at this point, which is probably the most aggressive region that we usually see, and that's what it's known for. This game, though, and then this is where we got the Pentakill on the Silas, and this looks so good. That was our second contention for that intro clip, by the way, and I'm glad Misfortune went on, but that Pentakill coming out of Silas is so good, so you have to hit everything on it.
Yeah, Quid is on a generational run right now. I mean, this guy looks very competitive against the top mid laners that he plays against, and against weaker ones, he just utterly dominates people. I think Quid is making a serious case for one of the best mid laners in the region.
Yeah, it's an exciting and also a depressing time too, because this 100 Thieves roster.
Oh, there's the graph.
Their first season here. Oh wow, that's the temperature meter. But their first season ever, right? They go to Worlds, and now their last season ever, they're going back to Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere in between have they been there, so it's really
they're eating a poop sandwich.
Exactly, yeah. They're eating a poop sandwich, but it's a really promising time for this 100 Thieves roster. I remember us a few weeks ago, we're just ragging on these guys. They're throwing away their last season, they don't look good, and now we're eating poop sandwiches.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were not looking good though. The issue with this one, the only issue I have with this series was that game number 3. The draft was a little bit iffy in my opinion. They're pulling out kind of what almost seems solo queue, and they're going in there, just running in there, looking for kills, not really playing the map well. And I think versus VKS, you still have to be a little bit more, on top of your game. But we're talking about Quid. We're going to continue talking about Quid. He had a petrifying gaze that stunned everyone. I mean, just like completely stunned me watching it. I'm not sure if it was also because I'm trying to figure out why Red is like knowing that there's a Cassiopeia 6 and they're all looking. But I mean, it just goes to show how good he is, as you guys were saying. He's just anything that he's doing is just so good.
And why LTA North teams don't give him Cassio. I mean, it's going to be only someone from another region who lets Quid play this champion.
Yeah, no one at Worlds will let him play it. That's for sure.
That's very true. And I was going to say, wrap it up. If Eli, you have any final thoughts on that series? Or
No, I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of as expected. Multiple regions kind of went as expected this past week, but we had some good matches too.
Yeah. Well, there were some winners and losers in those matches, and over this weekend there were some winners and losers in our fantasy drafts as well.
Can we skip this segment?
It's always the same winner.
Let's just go to the next one. No.
As always, the dog pound coming out on top there, looking very good. I, though, am very happy with my picks because I ended up coming up in second. Didn't look too good overall, but if we stay on round 9, I'm pretty happy.
You are very close there.
Yeah. Third place. Hey, that's good. And just like on the Rift in real life, I'm above Tadpole, right?
He's in production room just punching the
Balding,
air right now. Punching the air for sure.
Yeah, so
now we
can hear them coming out there. But take a look at this is the last week that we're going into.
Round 10.
Round 10. Although I don't believe I had Ayla as my bottom.
Nope, you definitely did. You definitely did.
Now.
I picked Ayla? Oh, no. Sorry. It's because the Vivo Keat Star is on the 100 Thieves. Okay, sorry. You mixed me up a little
Chris,
bit.
you're not supposed to point out production's mistakes.
Hey,
Okay,
relax.
I saw the
with it.
Vivo'd before I saw the 100 Thieves.
Just look at the name.
I love you, Andy.
Yeah.
But actually,
2.
no, it's Pat. Probably have to get a Pat.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
And this is mine. I didn't change anything. I kept
Scammer Gambit.
I just kept the same exact lineup as mostly for budget reasons. I couldn't really afford to swap anybody out, so I said, you know what, let's just run it back. And we didn't do too great last week, so we might not do too great this week either. We'll have to see.
I think you're going to have a good week.
Yeah, I should do better now with the 100T, I think.
Next is me. I mean, I somehow get both inspired 3 100 Thieves players and Trimby. I don't know if this is the fantasy system just giving me extra budget to work with because I've scored so many points. The rich get richer, both in real life and in fantasy.
Are you paying to win, bro?
I'm not paying anything, but I am winning. So.
Oh, all right. Well,
I went for a gambit run
so
here.
humble too.
All 100 Thieves. All 100 Thieves. I didn't want this. I want to be very clear. I would rather do all FlyQuest, but all 100 Thieves and Scamber for Keat Star. So I'm putting a lot of faith in FBI and Quid here to run it home because I think that the revenge tour of 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest is going to feed families.
I think if you get 100 Thieves who dominates VKS and then upsets Fly, you might make a run.
Pretty there on that one, yeah.
Then we got Tadpoles in the back, also running the Scamber Gambit. Is that the exact same?
That's the same one, yeah.
So
guy copies me. Different champ picks though. He took it safe.
you guys are going to be holding hands at the end of week 10 with the same score.
Yeah. He's making sure that I can't beat him too bad this time. He's learning from the master.
Yeah, if he picks all of the same champs as you, then you can't overtake him.
Exactly.
That's messed
Actually,
up.
that's very valid.
That's messed up.
And the dog pound, I mean,
4 digits, baby.
I don't think there's any way that we catch him.
If I fully trolled and picked stuff, there was a chance. But,
There's a chance.
but
I don't think it's going to happen.
Have you peeked into the other leaders in the big fantasy
I don't think
drafts?
so.
You know,
I have not.
I don't think
he's a couple hundred points behind them.
Yeah, I don't think I
a couple hundred?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some people have been slaying out. I peeked into those.
Yeah, there's some crazy ones.
Yeah, I think if I'd been running some LTA South players from the beginning and made a couple more smart decisions, it would have been solid. But consistency has put me at the top of our leaderboard.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's what matters.
Yep.
Next week, we will see the dog pound most likely come on top. Maybe there will be a surprise. You never know. But we'll bring that up on our next one, as it is the last week for LTA Fantasy. We had a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and jump into some of the other regions here. As we know, LEC did not have any matches last week, but they will be starting this Friday in Madrid. So we're going to go ahead and pull up that bracket. Just in case you forgot, we do have their G2 sitting in the grand finals. First, we'll have the Fnatic versus KC. Winner then plays Koi. Winner of that match into the grand finals. What are y'all looking forward to?
I just like how you said, in case you forgot, because they literally haven't played for a whole
there's
week.
been no
in case you
update.
forgot, the LEC exists, by the way. No, I'm actually excited to see Carmine Corp. I would like to see them step up. I don't know why. I've just latched onto this team. Fnatic has looked really good. I just want Carmine Corp to finally make a run. I know they're good enough. I know they are.
No, they're definitely good enough. I think I'm looking forward to, honestly, all 3 matchups.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of criticisms of the LEC format, but this final Friday, Saturday, Sunday should be 3 very competitive, very entertaining matches back to back to back. So we'll end the season on a good note.
It's one of those rare cases where there's literally no bad outcomes. Yeah, like I'm with you. I want to see KC make that run, but if Fnatic make the run, like the viewers are still eating good, right? You get there's so many storylines.
Worlds.
Yeah, there's so
Possibly
many good
against Faker.
storylines there. It's crazy. So like, no matter how that region plays out, G2 made it. That was like that's who I've all in all year in start trying to sell hype to people. So now that they're there, it's like cool. I'm just eating good. Koi deserves it. KC deserves it. Fnatic deserves it. It's not like a weird case like our region where we have to welcome the LTA South end. You know, and they don't need to be there.
Well, there is going to be a little bit of home field advantage for Koi as they are in Madrid.
When they were undefeated, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I saw your thunder.
No, you're good. I was going to say, as we saw in the Madrid earlier this season, they did take the road trip there the first time, and they showed out in numbers at that event. Hopefully this time no technical issues, though. We have a whole week, so we're counting on you, LEC, to get
There's
some
tech issues,
smooth
the community's
gameplay.
right.
Oh yeah, especially because the reason they said the break was so they could set the tech up properly. If they have tech issues,
Which,
there
that's
will
how
be a
you
rush.
know there's going to be tech issues.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Ryan, no way, Ryan. It's like, we're definitely fixing this.
As someone with you guys in the production space, I don't want to be those guys if there's tech issues. The
Yeah,
community's
sure.
gonna blast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to open social.
We'll definitely call them out if it happens. Don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
we'll have those games coming up for you later. We'll talk about all those next week as they crown their champion. But, you know, speaking of champions, we did get some in the LPL and LCP. AL did end up falling, so we end up having BLG versus TES in a rematch. BLG, Billy Gaming, are our champions for split number 3 for the LPL. They came out swinging, but I got ahead of myself a little bit before I got there. We have to talk about LCK. So there's some crazy stuff that happened there as well.
You skipping LCK?
I skipping
surprised me.
LCK.
It's
kinda crazy.
absurd.
Dude, I'm just happy about BLG. I'm going to be honest. I saw some of their possible jerseys, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. All right, so jumping into the LCK, we had some big matches that went over the weekend, namely starting with KT versus HLE. I don't think many people really expected most of these teams to be here. HLE was kind of falling to both Gen.G and T1 quite handedly throughout the entirety of split 3. Now they make it here. KT, of course, BDD upsetting Chovy and Gen.G, getting to that upper bracket finals. But, wow, that match wasn't close, though.
No, yeah, this was the winter final that should have been an email. It was not as close as it could be. I kind of was hoping that maybe KT could pull off a second miracle after the first one they did, but they were just kind of outclassed top to bottom.
I think they will pull off a second miracle. I actually think that they're going to upset Gen.G in that lower bracket,
Oh,
make the run, and then get there. So you were betting at the wrong time. You came in too soon. But hold your money, hold the strong there, because I think they're going to make that run.
Really? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe in that. I think Gen.G just a little bit too strong. Obviously, in my opinion, still the favorites to win Worlds. But I mean, let's talk about the Gen.G T1 match. That was the only one that was like really exciting, if you ask me. I was rooting for T1, as I think the 7 million people watching probably were too. But you just can't deny Gen.G. They're just too good.
I want to say that you can. I just think that they're still struggling. We'll get to it on the game 5, but I mean, the thing is, I'm looking at this early game. This should have been a 3-0, in my opinion. They start off really strong. Obviously, you can never count Gen.G out, but T1 looked really good at the beginning of this game number 1 going into it. They're getting good picks on their terms, and then Chovy does Chovy things with the rest of Gen.G. They end up turning it. But I mean, we're taking a look, and when we see the T1 team able to fight kind of around Gumayusi, start the fight themselves, they looked really good on it. I mean, they completely dominated Gen.G into this first fight here to take a lead in game 1.
This is one of the comps that I love, and Carrier plays it better than anybody else. It's this Poppy support against a hyper-mobile team. You're playing against a Vi, a Camille, a Galio. There's so much disruption potential that you can really see Carrier at his best. It struggles a little bit in the early game, but once it comes to team fights, objective fights where he can ult the jungler away, that pick is so chef's kiss.
Yeah, he was definitely single-handedly putting them ahead to the point that it looked like they should have won, like Chris said. But then I guess Chovy's Galio is just undeniable. Is it still undefeated, right? The guy just doesn't lose on Galio?
I mean, and they turn the fight, you know, in the mid lane, and the clip will come up, and it's just they were able to get that first pick, make Faker pop that Zonius early and then force everyone around it. And that's when they're reactionary to fights. It doesn't look like T1 is as good. But you go into games 2 and 3, T1 turn it up. The drafts look very much like T1 drafts, and they completely run it. And especially we're looking at, the games 2. We have really good Gumiyushi showing. Game 3, a really good Faker showing. I think we see what T1 can do, but then you have to play perfect versus Genji if you want to beat them.
Yep, completely agree with you. I mean, that's well said. I think that looking at this region, it's a really scary thought to know that SKT1 is your 4th seed, right? Because like you're coming in, especially for the LPL, right? We're going to talk about them in a bit, but whoever that 4th seed ends up being to go against there, like Faker said it years ago, all roads lead to me, right? And so you're literally from the bottom. Everyone who like thought, oh, we can dodge these powerhouse teams for a little bit, nope, they're coming right up through the trenches. And this is when we're going to see if like the script's already been written and the world's buff is true, because this is when SKT can make a generational 3-peat run to try to win.
From play-ins to World Finals to potentially win a 6th World Championship for Faker would be unreal. I mean, I feel like they've delivered us unreal storylines nonstop. This would be the most unreal.
What's more impressive, number 6 or 3 in a row?
The conspiracy theorists say that this is all scripted, man. This is what was all by design. T1 losing to create the most improbable storyline.
I'm buying in. I'll watch that.
I always thought about that. Is it the most improbable when they get a majority of their wins when they're coming in as the 4th seed, though? Maybe it's just them big braining and being like, if we were to win, maybe we wouldn't win Worlds.
I feel like the improbability of it is the fact that they ran into Genji in a lower semifinals to determine the play-in seed.
Okay.
Like that was, I said it on Rapid Recap, that was a World Finals level match that we got to see in LCK lower semis. Like how unlikely, what a treat.
And I mean, this game here, the Talia, his Talia was just completely bodying Chovy. He was like making sure that Chovy couldn't do anything. There's a really good knockup that he had that pretty much solidifies the game for them in a later team fight that they have in this game 3. And that's kind of like I was talking about how HLE, shut down BDD to get their win. This was really big on T1 making sure that they shut down Chovy to get their wins against them. And I think that's kind of where they faltered in those games 4 and 5 that we'll see. There's the big shovel. It gets him, instantly pops, has to Fox Rush out at that point. That's not what you want to do. They pick up the wins there. But of course, it's Genji, though. They can't be denied when it comes to these best of 5s. I guess unless your name is KT, the other telecom team there. I don't know what to say. I was kind of wishing that T1 would have, just swept that series, but here we are.
You're eating good as a League fan.
I am eating good as a League fan. That is very true. I mean, T1 versus Genji across, even MSI just gave us banger game 5s. But speaking of game 5, I was very disappointed with the draft once again from T1.
Why are we disappointed with this?
Yeah, what was wrong with this draft?
Yeah, what's wrong with this? You got Yone, you got
a Maokai support, bro? I mean, I love this shit.
Maokai's a legit support, man. I mean, he's a good engage.
First picking Ziggs,
he's a treat.
Gumiyushi. They've had to have practice it. I just don't see it, especially when you're banding off 2 other AD carries right off the rip. You're ending up giving Lucian, which was one of his carry champions that we saw earlier in the split, that gave them a win. That helps kind of start getting them to their winning ways. And then you give that up for the Ziggs. They're not doing enough team fight. There's a team fight early on where they hit everything, and it looked like they just tickled Genji.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into this topic a little bit more later. I don't want to steal thunder from another topic, but like this is not as uncommon as you would think, right? For these game 5s to just absolutely be blowouts. I mean, yeah, I can understand your logic from giving away the Lucian, but the Ziggs is a very strong early game pick, and it carries into late game. It's very explosive. It can really combat that Lucian down there, and I think Maokai, I mean, he's not like your tier 1 support, but in a world where all the engaged champs are kind of dwindling there, he is a great option. And Silas is off the board, so you don't have to worry about giving away a Silas Maokai ult. It's just like, it's a really good pick for him.
Yeah, I don't want to argue that Ziggs isn't a good pick. He is, because we've seen it. I just don't think it's a good Gumiyushi pick for a game 5.
Yeah.
That's my point on that one.
But what were his other options? That's what I want to know.
There was Ziri was up. They could have first picked Lucian into this as well, which I said he's already carried with. They banned one other AD carry. I think maybe it was Kaisa. I can't quite remember. But they had picks, and then you pick it in, you get Ziggs, and then you're playing into an Ornn, you're playing into a Nocturne, you're playing into a Vex with CDR. Yeah. It's just not a fun time.
I think it's the combination of things. The Ziggs itself isn't just the issue, but when you have a Yone and a Jace up in the top side and in mid that aren't putting out that consistent AD damage, I think when you go for a draft like this, you're putting your eggs in the faker and in the door and basket. And I think maybe the draft was objectively not great, but there's subjective about the draft itself, but it was objectively bad to put your eggs in that basket. Guma, owner, those are the people who I want with the ball in their hands when it comes to a game 5.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about the draft, but Vex Nocturne, what a crazy combo that most
insane.
people aren't going to consider. Just so much long range potential there. And then you also have the Ornn, right, with the train. Like, they can hit you from across the map for the champions, right? So it does make it a little hard to engage, especially like when you're T1 and what their best engage. I'm blanking on the champs. Like, is like
Maokai, Lilia.
Yeah, that's it.
Lilia 5-man sleeps.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time locking those down when they're hitting you from across the map.
Yeah. Well, we do see that, so it will be Gen.G moving on. As we said, T1 in that 4th spot. We'll have to see who comes out champion as well for LCK over the weekend. But jumping into LCP, we finally did get our champion for these next 2 regions. LPL, LCP both crowned their champions. Starting off with LCP, quick hit though. CFO has done it once again. They swept the LCP 3 for 3. Surprise. As you know, Kep has mentioned, and our other people have mentioned as well, not really an underdog going into Worlds for this one. I think everyone's excited for them.
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of stock into this Flying Oyster market right here. I mean, I think these guys could make a really deep run. Everything we've seen on them and everything international this far, they can compete with the best teams in the world. And like, if there was a team that I was going to put money on and say like, this is going to be an upset, like Flying Oyster versus Gen.G, I think is very scary if you're Gen.G, because they have like a unique style and a unique way that they approach the Rift. And this team, I think they're going to make a lot of ripples in the water at Worlds.
Yeah, Doggo, just one of the most exciting ADCs to watch. I just love watching him play, so I can't wait. I agree with you. I think that's kind of like a team you don't want to run into in one of the earlier rounds, and it's very likely that they will play like a team that they can beat in the first round. So.
Yeah, I hope it's not FlyQuest.
Well, I mean, with these LCK seeds falling so low, you never know where Gen.G is going to end up. You could end up with that matchup since you know they're not going to be the 1 seed anymore.
Well, as you all heard here, the oyster market is high, so go ahead and get into that. We're going to talk about the LPL.
Market price?
Yeah. So we had the rematch for the grand finals in the LPL, TES versus BLG once again, and BLG coming out on top. This time, though, utilizing Shadow to win those last couple of games. First game, they ended up falling with Beichuan playing game number 1, sub and Shadow for the rest of the 4. Still close, but they do pull it out to be your LPL our champions for split number 3, thus for qualifying for Worlds. They are looking really good right now.
Yeah, Billy turned out to be everyone's heroes, not anyone's legends, defeating Top Esports domestically. This has been something that all the LPL fans have been begging for. You know, Top should not be the best team. They make so many bad decisions, but somehow they always end up on top. And BLG finally got their roster issues all together. They made great plays and gave us 10 really insane games from that lower final to upper final.
And anyone's legend ends up qualifying by points, which was earned throughout the whole year, or how do those points
so each we'll talk about this. So actually, we can pull up maybe the graphic. We had like the regional finals, but what happened is each split you do get points for qualifying. Obviously, the most come from the split 3 grand champion. But since AL did qualify for MSI as that first seed, as you see, they got the 90 points there, which just kind of put them into that second place. So despite losing to TS in that lower finals, they still make it to still make it as the number 2 seed.
Yeah, Top's got to feel some type of way about that. I feel like we just beat these guys and they auto-qual. What do you mean? So they still got to figure out their seeding. But LPL, it's going to be a crazy match for that 4th place spot. And then if you earn the 4th spot, then you play T1 first to make it in. So it's going to be tough.
Well, I'm not sure they'll be feeling too bad because they did end up winning this morning. They did end up beating IG. We can pull up that regional finals bracket here. So this is for those 3rd and 4th place spots. Unlike the other regions, they do have one last little tournament to qualify here. As of this morning, we did see Top Esports defeat IG 3-1. Those games were not very close on the wins for Top. They just looked really good, so they're going to be solidified as that number 3 seed. But now at the bottom, we have JDG, Weibo, and then IG waiting for the winner of that. We'll have to see who that 4th spot is coming into it. And we do have some Pickems to show what everyone may be thinking for that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that because we got champions galore this weekend to figure out who the champions are, who those number 1 seeds are going to be for a majority of the regions. Starting off with the LTA, it's a clean sweep across the board, and we all think it is going to be FlyQuest.
Yeah, they're just so dominant in the region. No surprise.
Yeah, no surprise there. But we did get a little 50-50 on LEC, so we're going to pull those up there. We have some GP and KC.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just a KC believer. I'm hoping they make the run. G2's already made it, so let somebody else win for once. I don't know. We'll see what happens if they can do it.
Yeah, I like the K Corp too. I think they should easily handle Fnatic. I don't think that should be too close. And then it'll be a tough matchup facing Koi in Madrid. But if they win that, I think they can carry that momentum and take down G2. G2's had a bunch of time to sit and stew and come up with bad team comps, bad decisions to do. There's no telling.
They've been cooking too hard.
Yeah, too hard.
I agree with you. If KC can upset Koi, then they'll carry momentum and win. But otherwise, I actually don't think KC will make it past Koi. So I'm expecting a G2 Koi finals and G2 just take that.
Yeah. I'm on the Caps, Broken Blade, Hans, everyone on that team train.
Welcome.
I'm on all that right there. I think they'll do it. So I just think that they've been leveling up since MSI, and I just think that they'll not take it easily, but they'll take
Now's
it
the time.
at the end.
Seeding matters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Seeding does matter. So we'll take a look at that. But let's go and take out the other regions, though, as we did have at the LCK that we're talking about. It is 3-1 for Jinji and HLE from J-Dog. So what's your reasoning behind that?
I think Hanwha's the best team. I think Genji stumbled against KT. I think it's possible they stumble again, and we might not even get to see Genji versus Hanwha. But I just love the Hanwha solo laners. I think they're really, really freaking good. And it's time for a little bit of surprise. Genji.
I want to swap my pick now. The fantasy leader picked this. So I want to follow him. Yeah.
All that on the we do have one last. We're going to take a look at the LPL, not the champion. We already have that. But who's getting that 4th spot? And we have 3 IGs and then 1 JDG. So take it away, Kep.
Well, I'm just surprised you guys picked IG. This team has looked like garbage. And so for IG to come out and win this and get 4th seed, I think it would be a disappointment to everyone. I actually kind of thought Top might fall down here, and then we might not see Top go to Worlds. But the fact that they won, I think, further solidifies that JDG is going to look like they have a solid chance there. I think they can beat Weibo. I think they've got what it takes, and I think that JDG would dominate IG in that matchup. So I'm just looking forward to JDG going 4th seed. That's my kind of wild card pick there.
Yeah, I mean, I think IG looked kind of good, though, throughout the season. They leveled up through Split 3 a bit. I just want to see Shy, Rookie, all them back at Worlds one more time. I even have an IG. I have the IG skins. I have the IG from the icons. So I'm be a little, I'm be a little biased towards them. Of course, my alliance have shifted more into like wanting to see Tarzan get to the World Finals, in all honesty, or BLG take it with that 6-man roster. But those are our picks. We'll have to see how they follow through. The rest, we'll take a look at that next week as we crown the rest of our 1st seeds going into Worlds. But let's go ahead and jump into what we thought was interesting across the rift for this week. We'll start off with Justin.
Yeah, so mine is actually this video that came out yesterday from the esports engine, and it was basically saying Fearless Draft isn't ruining games, this is. And I thought this was a very interesting thing to talk about because I've been on this show last week and before talking about how I kind of want to see traditional draft come back. I have some issues with how it seems like Fearless gives us more unique picks, but we're seeing the same ones over and over, kind of. And they proved through stats and through this awesome long video, 100% worth a watch, shout out to the team who made it, that it's not that Fearless is making Game 5s bad. It's that Game 5s have always been uncompetitive. And just, I wanted to share that with our audience. I thought it was an incredibly well-made video, great premise, great stats to back it up, and really enlightened me to a new topic.
Yeah,
I completely agree. And I mean, one of the things they talked on in this video is just like, you got to give Fearless a chance, right? Like, teams have been developing these metas, for standard traditional league over, 10, 15 years now, whatever the range is. And now to go into Fearless, we're 6 months in. But it has brought a lot more excitement to the picks, and you get to see things that you otherwise would not see play out on the Rift, like a Zillion last pick, or even to a degree, I would argue, like an Aurelia top lane. Like, that's a risk you can take and not throw your series away because you're just getting stuff off the board. And you can play the game a little bit different where you can say, like, what if instead of just picking our strong champs, like, what if we just pick to deny this person? And so there's a lot of good ideas floating out how you can make Fearless better. I'm personally in the camp of, like, stealing kind of the Dota model where they have a reserve time. So, like, if you get that really wonky 5th pick, then you get, like, an extra 30 seconds to a minute to dip into for your strats to play out. I think something like that could change the game too.
He says that, but as an active Dota watcher, no, please leave it. Don't take bank time, no reserve time. That makes it so long.
It takes so long for a game to start in Dota. But I mean, I kind of agree with both points. I think it might have been you that brought up the modified Fearless concept where, like, once you get to game 5, then all the champions are open back to play. I think that's a pretty cool idea, and the stats kind of back it up as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think Fearless overall has been good, and maybe if we did something like that, you'd still see some unique picks, but it would be in game 4, and you wouldn't have to be like scrambling for that last pick. But if it stays as it is, I do like the idea of maybe just an extended timer in game 5 for a draft. Maybe that's an idea.
It's an interesting concept, and I think it's a great discussion to be having in League, that we have a format that's so intriguing and makes people want to talk about it.
Yeah, and we're only talking about how to improve it. We're not like saying, oh, this is bad or whatever. You know, and one of the things that is bad, though, is the LTA South. But they had a moment of glory here. We're going to transition.
Great transition.
We're going to transition into my topic here. So we actually got to see a preview of our next matchup, 100 Thieves versus VKS, the Keyed Stars. They faced off in a WASD show match in the LTA studio, and it was like a 40-minute banger. It's a good video to check out, and you got to kind of see WASD. I think we saw a little bit of preview of the meta. Keyed Stars going with the traditional 380 carry approach, going on to the Rift. And so, like, if your first 80 carry flops, you got 2 more. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, Keyed Stars kind of smashed 100 Thieves. Like, it didn't look close. And so I started joking to myself. I was like, I want to make this my feed, because it's really interesting to set up this narrative where 100 Thieves are going in after just losing to these guys. Now they're on their revenge arc. And no one really promoted this video. Like,
I
it
didn't
just
know
kind of popped up on YouTube with under the LTA North channel. But I didn't see their socials tweet about it or anything. But I wish they would have, because it's a really entertaining show.
It was. I mean, I watched it, ended up seeing it because I was watching pros, and then it ended up popping up after I was watching pros, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? WASD? Oh, okay. It was a fun match to watch. Obviously, I'm wondering when they took it. Maybe they took it before they knew that they were going to play each other. But I still think it's fun that they're promoting this, but it also goes to show, because we've talked about WASD before, how they're going to transition some of these teams into WASD later if it does become like a meta type thing. Very interesting, but I think just as far as content piece, it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, obviously they were trolling, they were having fun. We saw some accidental flashes, which anyone that's tried the new WASD controls has accidentally flashed. Like, it's very easy to do. But it did make me think as well, like, is WASD going to have a massive impact on the game? Are we going to see metas where people start picking more ADCs because they are that good? But I think at the pro level, it probably won't change a whole lot, but it's worth thinking about. Yeah.
It is, and I kind of like that Riot has kind of hinted at and said that if it does get too overpowered, that they'll tune it back down. They don't want WASD to be a superior movement scheme, so I'm hoping we don't end up in that scenario. I'm hoping that they dial it back. I'm a WASD hater. I loved it for all the games. I literally have whole W tattooed on me. So I like WASD in other games, not in League.
Okay.
Yeah, get used to it, buddy. It's
here to stay.
I'm probably going to switch to it when it comes out. I'm going to give it a whirl.
As you hear here, we'll see. I mean, as he alluded to, it is only in PvE right now, so they'll tune it, and we'll see how it goes. If not, I'm not averse to having to use AD carries all the time. As an AD carry myself, I do like it. But we'll go ahead and talk about my feed. Another of a fun announcement. We finally have the Summoners Cup back. It's being brought back after a time of, I believe it was Tiffany & Co. was helping design the last couple of years when they had that partnership. But we finally get it back, and it has been tuned to make sure that no heads will be bonked in the picking up of this trophy. It has been modified a bit, but I am very happy. Look at it.
It's just so funny to me that esports players do this so frequently where they just can't pick up the trophy. They've had to redesign the trophies because we don't know how to pick them up. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but it's because SKT's been lifting them all these years. No one else has got practice.
Yeah, Faker's strong enough too. So.
Yeah, Faker's done it a few times, so he knows what to do.
Yeah, and important note, we do get basic Summoners Rift back, but the Cup is back on the Rift, baby.
Cup is back on the Rift. And we've already seen in the PvE for the when they released the Worlds update to it, where we all the banners, they have put the Cup back in, so the Summoners Cup is back in Summoners Rift at this moment. I'm happy, but we'll have to see who lifts it this year.
Wait, I haven't played yet. Where is it? Like, where is it on the map?
Oh, it's in PvE. It'll be behind the where the bases are.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's okay.
It's like up for grabs.
Yep.
You gotta kill the Nexus, then you get the.
And it's probably the reason that we do get a basic Summoners Rift. They probably just want that to not be too distracting on the World stage when they're playing on the Rift. So, but now you can Worlds theme it out. So it's the basic Rift, but Worlds theme.
They should have just made it in the middle of the map.
I was thinking like
center of mid lane. Yeah, it's like a trundle pillar that they have to dodge.
They normally have it like engraved.
Well, yeah. So it definitely will be like engraved. Usually in mid lane they'll have like an actual the terrain is kind of reskinned
Like
a little bit.
sidewalk design.
Yeah, it's kind of like an NBA team's logo in the middle of the stage, but it's just a
Right.
World Cup there. Yeah.
That's fire. I like that. I always love all the little things that Riot does to like add hype to worlds around the map. In-game, the in-game client like encourages you to watch worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do a really good job.
They do it right for sure.
All right, Eli, take us away.
Yeah, so mine was all of the emotes that came out for all the teams. These are hype. I just want to pull them up and see which ones are your favorites. My personal favorite one, I like the Faker Pengu Shush. It's in the third row, far to the right. But this is so cool that each team gets one of these. Which ones did you guys like?
I'm a big fan of the G2 Burger Flip, but then also the surrendering Yasuo. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lore behind these emotes, guys.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how familiar you guys are, but just a little education for the viewers at home. But last year they did the same thing, and there was a lot of controversy around these because obviously these teams want like their logo to win. They want it to be the most popular. So they tried to like push the edge. And then a lot of these emotes had to get like modified and changed because of the way that they were being utilized. But a lot of these seem safe. They're just leaning into the meme category this year. Whereas last year we had some bangers. We had some baits. You can imagine how those started getting used. And then we also had like one of the Yasuo ones. My favorite here is a ripoff. Actually, I'm calling it a ripoff of the team that won last year. I'm blanking on the team, but they had 4 green bars for the surrender. Whereas now this year Yasuo has 1 red, 1 red. He's saying no.
Said no, he believes in the team, so he's
Yeah,
not FFing.
But there's a lot of bangers in here, man. Well, J-Dog, Chris, what'd you like?
I like this little squirrel at the far right of the third row. He's very cute.
There you go. Which one?
For me,
Which
it
one?
was KC.
J-Dog always chasing the nut. All right.
You said KC.
KC with the Jinx laughing behind her
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pointing at the.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
was a
good.
lot of fun. I mean, I'm gonna be repping a lot of these.
And the
These are-
liquid thumbs up is good too.
Yeah.
That,
The
that's
thumbs
gonna,
up is perfect.
Yeah, that's gonna be so sick. Like I'm just imagining on bot lane, I'm about to BM the heck out of somebody. Thresh throws a hook and misses.
Yeah,
Give
just
him the thumbs
just
up.
give him the
dude.
thumbs
Yeah,
up.
Good job, buddy.
These will
Maybe next
definitely be
time.
used to troll many
Oh,
times.
We need, you know what we should do? This is actually a fun content piece idea. I'm saying it live on the show. We need to do like an emote tier list. That'd be
Mm.
sick. Rank these emotes.
Let us know in the
10-hour,
comments.
the,
10-hour
um,
live stream.
Yeah,
You guys
wait.
want that?
What about the SK? Just a chill dude. That's what the
Yeah,
one
just
they
a chill
had was
dude, man,
pretty-
yeah.
pretty funny on that. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna spend a lot on these. There's pretty good this year.
350
So
are
I'm
they
pretty
made
happy.
them fairly cheap too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I will not buy a single one. I'm at a weird point in my life. I don't emote to people. All I need
I
is the
emote all the
default
time.
thumbs
I
up.
emote all the
All I need is the default thumbs up. Went good, bad. I just press the button and that's all I need.
You're not a ranked player, but basically, like my mentality when I go into
Wow.
the Rift and I'm sitting down to play ranked.
Still a human.
I'm hunting for people like our boy Davis in the prod room, like because an emote will tilt someone like him off the planet, right? You just get in his mind, and you can just tell he's having a meltdown.
See, I think I can tilt Davis with the default thumbs up one.
See, I'm untiltable because as soon as I load in, I do /mute all. And I'm not seeing anything my teammates say. I'm not seeing anything the enemy says. I'm in
but
Zen
you're not
mode.
even chatting with your
I'm just
team.
gonna-
You're throwing.
I'm just locking in.
That's next level.
I'm playing for
Then
myself.
they've wasted their money on the email.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
You
That's
spent your money
kinda
on that. I'm
smart.
not even seeing it.
And my
bro.
teammates
Ooh.
are gonna tilt me more than the enemy most likely anyway. So I'm just big braining. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you let us know what emotes you're thinking about getting, which ones are your favorite. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the big story, and probably the biggest one right now is Impact leaving Team Liquid.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of
That's getting piss
expected.
low.
After jeez.
Sorry, I didn't play that, but it just popped into my head.
I mean, I think my prediction is that Core JJ follows him, but I don't know. We'll have to see how this one plays out.
That would really hurt this team.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, guys, I've made fun of Impact on the show a lot
have.
through this year. I feel
Zero
like I
impact.
have a direct hand in this action being taken. So everyone else is sad, but you guys remember that like old video meme of like the 6 dudes carrying the casket and they're dancing? That's me. Like we're taking Impact
That's
out.
messed up, bro.
We're getting rid of him, but he has been a tremendous influence and it is a huge void to fill. I mean, he's had a lackluster year, and I think he's going to go back and reset his mindset and come back stronger than ever. Like, I don't think this is the end of Impact, but we are Liquid and our region. We're losing a world champion, right? And the only other one that I know of is Core JJ on the team. So you don't want to lose both of those for Liquid. You're trying to hold on to that. But I would love, it would make my whole world if Impact takes a little bit of time off, right? Because they have all of Worlds. He regathers himself and he comes back on a team, and I'm thinking like disguised, right? I'm thinking maybe Dignitas. some lower level team and he just goes nuts and pops off. That's what I want to see come out of Impact. I want him to come back and just take all his experience, all his veteran nature, lead this team to a successful LTA North and put them on the map.
I could definitely see that happen. I think I actually mentioned that on a few episodes ago that I thought that could be the case for Impact. He just needs that change of scenario, that change of environment to really happen. I do think this is it's kind of justified. You know, he's had a bad season, and with a lot of these GOATs, these veterans who have so much prestige and so much history in our league and in other leagues, we give them a lot of credit through their bad seasons. And at a certain point, you do have to just objectively look at the play, assess it, and think, I can get a better top laner.
Well, what does this mean for Liquid to you guys, right? Because, like, Liquid, losing someone like Impact, you're losing a world champion. Where do you go from here? Like, who replaces Impact?
Well, that's the point, though. Or sorry.
I was just gonna say I expect a lot of teams to change between now and next season, especially in LTA. Like, there's gonna be a complete blow up of most of the rosters, is what I'm predicting.
If I'm Liquid, you know what I'm doing? I'm gonna put it out there. Okay.
Well, can I guess?
Yes.
Sniper.
Sniper would be good. That's
okay,
how we're going.
I was
If
gonna
I'm
say-
Liquid, I'm giving Gackos a bag.
Oh,
I'm bringing
no.
Gackos in.
No,
Yes. That's
I don't
a
agree
player.
with that.
Brother, this
Gack-
guy lost 2
Ah.
Rumble games with the best team in the league in the regular season.
Doesn't matter. You can see his potential off the Keystars game.
He's comfy now.
That
He's
is
comfy.
someone you can invest in for long term, right? Get him out of FlyQuest before Blippo goes coach, and then FlyQuest locks him down.
I think that's
gonna-
what
that guy's a
FlyQuest
killer.
that's what FlyQuest wants the teams to do. They're just trying to make him look good and then sell him for a big bag.
I personally, on my end, if they're investing in anyone, I think they keep UG and invest in UG as that rising talent. Because right now, as a reminder, everyone on Team Liquid is technically considered domestic. They have their green cards for core and Impact, or they played long enough in the league that they're considered NA at the moment. So they have 2 international spots open. If I'm thinking what they do right now is I would like to see Core stay with Jan. I think they were an amazing bot lane duo. You keep Yuji, you try to start grooming him to be another great talent in the jungle because there's a lackluster amount of that in NA right now, besides if Griffin comes over, which we all know I want him to come over to NA. But I think you do that, you pull in someone from overseas, whether it be Europe, whether it be LCK, and then you go forward from there. But I don't think it's Gakko.
I like that idea without Yuji, with Griffin being in better, but Yuji was not it for me. He was so inactive. I don't know if changing the
And I don't like it because I don't want to import more people. Like, I want to, if we're gonna have this, international approach, like, pull the people we already have and try to bring in someone local. in another
Gakko is important.
Well, I know he's an import, but he's already here, right? So we're not turning more into the LCK 2.0, right? LCK Lite. So I don't want to see an
Europe as
LPL
well.
top laner. I don't want to see an LCK top laner. Like, bring someone from the region and then find like a good mid laner from the US.
From Kansas.
From
It needs to be a
I
nice
think
Kansas boy. Playing on that.
that's what I want. But like,
Quit.
I think there's a lot of potential in Gackos. I really think you guys are underselling this. Like, we saw a lot of potential there.
He does not have a single win against an LTA team ever.
Yeah.
LTA North team. I guess technically he's got wins against an LTA South team.
He is over there to learn from Whippo. You take him off that team, who does he learn for? Do they keep Impact and turn Impact into a coach? Do you coach?
Impact would be an amazing
Maybe,
coach.
but I still think Impact could do on another team. Like we're saying, you throw him off to a Disguise. I like that more. I still think they're going to import someone. That's what I just feel. Whether it be from
probably.
Europe.
I
whether it be
think
from
you're right.
LCK.
I don't want you
Yeah.
to be right, but I think
Yeah. You guys are saying the same thing, I think.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you just, I don't know. Like I said, I think all the teams are blowing up. We're going to see a very different LTA next year. If it's even called LTA, because, that's also under question. There's a lot of rebranding, restructuring. I think that it's going to be some chaos over the
I'll
offseason.
have to see. Speaking of blowing up, some blowing up happened when, unfortunately, we had a independent interviewer get denied an interview from FlyQuest or VKS during that match there. Drew ended up having to go. He said he spent time to go to the match, asked for interviews, did not get one right now. And this kind of just falls into what's been happening with the LTA. You said it earlier, that content for the WASD between the two teams was not, promoted. Yep. This one here, they're not promoting more by giving independent 1 of 2 as well. It's not like they had like 500 people asking for it. It's just 1 of 2. And I was going to say this kind of falls more, not as much on the teams. There is some on that, but it falls more onto Riot not allowing these independent, people to have contact with some of the teams and really help them out.
Yeah, media should be a priority in my mind, right? Now, I'm actually going to pivot. I wanted to get my word in there because we have a veteran of the esports industry here. We have Eli, who's there all the time. So, like, Eli, you come from that small scene. I think that media helps everyone, but do you see this in the Halo scene? Like, are your players giving interviews there in that regard?
Some of them aren't, and I've called them out as it being a problem. Like, the realistic thing is the players need to have a bigger picture mentality of what they're doing, because most of the players, all they want to do is sleep until 2 p.m., get on, play the video game, and then get off, and they don't want to deal with anything else. But it's like, if you look at the bigger picture, all of your actions can grow the scene and make it better. If you want your team to have more fans, you got to be on camera more. You gotta stream more, do more outside of just competing, and it's gonna ultimately come back to you as a good thing, right? And every time a player denies an interview, they're denying the opportunity to earn more fans, to get more eyes on the space, sponsorships. There's so many reasons to do it. So this did hurt me to see.
To build their own brand.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You gotta, because also as a gamer, oftentimes you don't have a whole lot of other life skills. So you're probably gonna have to work in the industry afterwards. So start building those, like planting those seeds so that by the time you're ready to retire, you got something to do. If you start building a stream now and you get big, you could just retire early as well. So I feel like there's just no reason not to like be in the public eye more.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I agree, and I do agree with Chris as well that it's got to be on Riot to make this a requirement. I don't think it's absurd. I've competed in esports. Media is just a requirement. It's just what you do. Like, I mean, you're getting paid a good amount of money to play video games. It sucks after a loss to have to go talk to an interview and get asked the same questions over and over. How do you feel? What do you think the difference was? What did they do better? But you do it. It's the downside of the job. It's not the biggest downside ever.
You also have the option to like meme the interview if you want. Like that's another way to handle it. If you don't want to answer their questions, but like, yeah, they got more kills than us. They won the game. They did good.
Yeah.
Like
Shaden, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of interesting with this. I don't know how much y'all looked into this, but so basically, if I don't know if you know who she is, she's like a content creator for FlyQuest, ended up replying to Drew on one of her alt accounts, kind of explained how FlyQuest did theirs. So each, they like pre-planned for it, and only one player will only do one interview for it, and then usually the rest just go home. Supposedly, she had Gakos as hers, so they had already set that up, and then after the game, I believe it was Masu who went to the interview with the desk, I believe, after that one. So it takes up those, and I guess the 3 went. And this is where I want Riot to step in and be like, okay, we have the second person here. They reach out to FlyQuest because it's probably a lot easier for Riot to reach out to FlyQuest and be like, you know, we have 2 interviewers here. They'll do the same one. Can we get like Busio or someone to go do it? And
I know you guys are saying Riot should do it, but I yes, Riot should have a part in it, but it's on the teams, man. I mean, it's your brand, it's your company, it's your org, right? Like you know what your players are gonna sign up for. So like that's why, like, huge shout out to Liquid also in this tweet, you know, from this guy replies that, hey, come to this studio, whatever it was, and we'll give you an interview. Right. So Liquid reaching out to make those amends, but that should just be the normal. These guys, just like real sports, you're gonna go to an event, you're gonna have media day. Win or lose, you're getting there, you're getting interviewed, and we see it in other esports all the time. We see it in Counter-Strike. I think this is why Counter-Strike is so big, is because every time after a match, you know you're going to hear from the winners and the losers at some point, right? You normally hear from the winners on like the analyst desk. Losers are like a post-match interview, but you're always building that brand. You're building storylines, right, that you can have because just like you said, when you're in that interview, like meme it or talk trash about the other guy. Be like, I know, like if I'm VKS and I truly believe we're better, if I'm Dokla, the even better example, 100 Thieves, it's like, yeah, FlyQuest beat us today, but Blippo's trash. Like, I'm going to beat him next time. You start building that stuff in interviews, people start publishing these articles. It's just all net positive for a little bit of your time, and you're not scrimming 24 hours a day anyway.
Yeah,
right? You're playing video games for a living. Just go talk to people. It's not going to kill you. So I'd love to see more agency out of that and start to revive it because there's a reason TSM was the org for the LCS for so long because they did content better than else. There's a reason in Call of Duty that Optic is the name because they do content better than anyone else. The the formula's already out there for everyone. Just go copy paste it, right?
Yeah.
Just make content your king.
Especially right now where like all these orgs are going under, right? Like we're seeing orgs fall left and right across all esports. And it's because it's really hard to make money as an esports org. But if you're a player and you have a big personality and you draw more people in, maybe people start to buy more merch because they're a fan of you. And then now the org benefits, which means you have the potential to continue earning your salary instead of worrying about your org going under. Like, I don't know, there's so many reasons to like try to do more to help the scene as a whole because everyone eats at the end of the day.
Yep.
Well, you heard it here. Orgs, we want more content, right? We want you to help create those channels for those smaller independent content creators to get in touch with those orgs all together. But that's going to wrap it up today for us on The Rift. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Watch our other shows today in Esports Rapid Recap. If you want to know what happened more in details with those games, we'll see y'all next time.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats. That's right.